Oh, cool. So there's like a little chat thing at the bottom. If you see, click on it, and then some people will be chatting in there too. If so, even if they're not talking or raising their hands, we can be going through the chat discussion as well. And then there's also a link to check out merch, which is cool.
That's all in the
It's all in the
chat
chat.
thing?
Yeah, if you can check that out. So it's all
It's a
within the app, which
discussion.
is cool. Yep.
Oh yeah, buy merch and support the artist.
Yeah. Yeah. So in there we put the two, the new album, live album, the new album vinyl, and then the Cleanse Tour
I actually
tea
don't see
leftovers.
the I actually don't see the merch link. I don't know if that's because I'm the speaker or
For me, it's like a pop up. You have to actually like exit to get rid of it.
Yes,
Oh,
it's a
interesting.
pop up.
If you go into the discussion section, Dan.
Yeah, that's where I am, but I don't see
Oh.
anything.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking and I see it. Maybe it's because you're the host or like you created the room.
Well, I wasn't gonna buy anything anyway, so
So yeah, it links you right to the merch spot.
Just for the record,
Yeah, it's a hard no for me.
what is Paul? That's your phone thing, I think.
No, I'm not moving at all.
Okay, I heard. Brr, 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 brr.
I am as still as a statue right now. That also was not me.
But you heard that.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not me, and you and I are the only ones who are unmuted. Ben, how long should we wait right now before we begin?
I think we should wait a couple more minutes, maybe like
Okay.
2 minutes. But
Okay.
there's people starting to get in the room. Everyone should have gotten an email probably half an hour ago with like the info.
Gotcha. Okay. I just don't want anyone to miss the beginning of this because, it's such a huge reveal that we've been waiting years to tell people. So this is a big moment in the band's history. All of that was a lie. We have no idea what we're doing. This feels like joining Zoom class. I think that's right. That's fair.
Everyone's doing it now. This is actually kind of cool, though, that Spotify has this.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. All right, I'm going to mute. Paul, you can do a monologue.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm just reading the discussion at the moment. Picking out my favorite gifts.
That's cool.
Can you change your how do I change my photo, or is that just like what my Spotify photo is?
You can't. You're verified. You're done. That's your picture.
Okay. I like that.
Ben says we sound like we're whispering. I don't think we're whispering, but I had band rehearsal this morning and my voice is a little bit tired. Oh, someone said, I can hear. Ben is wrong. I like when I read Ben is wrong.
So how was everyone's Wednesday?
Let us know how your Wednesday is in the comments.
New comic book day.
Oh, that's right. Did you go this morning, Paul?
I did before rehearsal.
Oh, that's why you pushed.
No, that's not why.
Yeah. Paul pushed rehearsal back by an hour this morning, guys, which we just found out. We just found out the reason for together.
No, the reason was time management, and it all worked out beautifully.
What time's the comic book store open?
11.
Oh, okay. Nice. Katie says, I have COVID for the first time, so this is cheering me up. Thank you. Congratulations. What a wild experience. I know it's different for everybody, but when I had it, I can't even tell you what my symptoms were because they're going to have to rewrite all the boxes in the cold aisle. Like if I went down the medications and read all of them, I'd be like, this isn't what I'm feeling. And I still don't know what it was. They haven't invented the word for how I felt yet.
I remember I just had like a runny nose.
Yeah, you lucked out.
Yeah, I mean, you lost your taste and smell, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I did. It's back now, but it took like, I mean, it was like out for 2 days, and then it took maybe a month to come back to like 95%, and then like 3 months to come back to 100%.
At least you got it back. There's still some
Yes.
people out there that, you know, have gone like years without tasting or smelling.
Like Katie's mom, who got COVID in October 2020 and still doesn't have taste and smell. Yeah,
Sad face. Yeah,
it's
wow.
crazy. Very crazy. What a time to be a person. Zachary says, I had it when it was first out, the initial release.
As if it's like an album release.
Yeah, he got the COVID rookie card.
You stood in line for it.
3 weeks bedridden. Jeez. So crazy. I always try to remember that, you know, this kind of thing is like really common in human history, and we've been lucky to not experience it in our lifetime, and now it's here, and I try to be thankful for the time before because, you know, seems like it's going to be here for a while. Although I'm sure everyone is tired of talking about COVID, myself included.
Yeah, let's talk about like monkeypox or something.
Oh, someone just changed the topic to monkeypox. This is great.
Wow, what is going on?
I think the Elmo fire gif sums it up. Mm-hmm. We've got
Dan, you can FYI, I sent you a text with a certain discount code if you want to reveal that, maybe when you want to start, for anyone that wants to buy.
Why don't you just say it? Why don't you just
album.
reveal it? Why do I have to reveal the discount code?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you have the platform. Everyone, please welcome Joywave's manager, Ben, to the chat. He's about to do a merch discount code reveal, which is very exciting. Ben, you have the floor.
I will put it in the chat.
Okay.
But it is the word double destruction, all caps, one word, for exclusive to the time during this live chat, however long it lasts. But you have to view the shop in the discussion, and you'll see it in there.
Okay. Cool.
That's it.
Very cool. Are we good to start, or shall we continue to wait?
I thought we had started.
Oh no, I didn't think we'd started. This was all the prequel. Yeah, Ben, are we good to start now?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello and welcome to the Joywave Spotify. What do you call this? What is the official name? Ben, what's the official name of what we're doing right now?
Spotify Live?
Spotify Live Artist Room. I believe this is one of the first ones.
Yes.
I think there's only been a few of these so far. And apparently Joywave was picked because Joywave Spotify listeners are very engaged, apparently. So it's a cool thing that we got picked for this. And it's cool that it hit up. It automatically targeted our top listeners. That's also cool.
Oh, very cool. So if you're on here, you're a top listener, which is very cool. And I have to say that I personally am very excited about this because we have a lot of people who listen to us on Spotify. We have a lot of people who come and see the show live, and we have some people who engage with our bullshit on social media, and which is fine. Like I'm not a big social media guy myself, but like for a long time we've thought it'd be nice to be able to engage with Spotify users directly, because we know there's a lot of them out there who are listening to us, and probably given how this targeting is happening, like Ben said, like the invite only went to the top listeners. Probably all of you guys are very familiar with me and Joey and Paul, but one of the reasons we did the live record that we just put out was to try to get some of the things that you experience when you see the band live to the people who may only be listening to like the studio recording of Cleanse or Possession or How Do You Feel Now or Content. So this is very cool. And I know also we've done a few of these this week. I know we did one with Reddit on Monday. We did one on our Discord on Friday, which if you are a Discord person, there's a Joywave Discord. You can join. Everyone there is very nice. And this one, there's not a moderator. It's just me and Joey and Paul and Mr. Manager. And I think we're just supposed to kind of talk, but there's this speaker requests function where I think you guys can request if you have a question. You can either type it in the discussion and we can see it, or you can raise your hand as a speaker thing, and I think I can bring you in. So I think we'll just do that. I mean, Joey, what do you have to say? You've been very quiet so far.
I'm more of like the in the text chat kind of guy. I don't really have a lot to say. I like reading what people have to say. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Are you typing in the chat right now?
No, there's nothing for me to type yet.
He just likes to watch.
Okay, that's cool.
From a distance.
All right. Okay. Well, what do you guys think? What do you want to do? Do you want to bring people in? Do you want to go through text questions? What are you guys feeling?
Maybe we bring some people in and we do some text.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we like bring in a guest and then we'll do some text questions. Then we'll bring in a guest and we'll just kind of like alternate. How about that? Okay. Speaker requests. Please welcome everybody. Eli Reese. Unmute yourself, Eli.
What's up, guys? This is awesome.
Hey, how are you? Where are you?
I am chilling on my bed. I waited for this.
Wow.
Nice.
Where do you live? Where is your bed?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm
Nice.
I'm gonna try and go to y'all's concert.
Were you at the last Atlanta show?
No, I wasn't.
We had a Joywave cover band open for us. It was
Really
absolutely incredible. There's footage of it on our, I think, TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, they were terrific, and it was very fun. But
that's dope.
This Atlanta show should be great. Also, there won't be a Joywave cover band, unfortunately.
Darn.
But do you have a question? What do you want to say? You raised your hand.
I do have a question. What are y'all's favorite shows right now or movies? Because it's raining outside. Sorry, but I recently got my parents to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and all that. And the latest season of Better Call Saul, I'm waiting for it to come out on Netflix. I highly recommend the series to anyone because it's just masterful. I'm not sponsored by Breaking Bad or AMC or whatever, but it's just a great show. And I love talking about it.
I have yet to watch any Better Call Saul, and Joey is very upset with me that I haven't yet, but I plan to. I loved Breaking Bad.
Dan and I love Better Call Saul, and it's kind of grown on us as like I like it more than Breaking Bad. The cinematography is wonderful, the storytelling is wonderful, the character development is wonderful. I can't say enough good things about it. I think it's my favorite show on TV right now, to answer your question, for sure.
I think it's mine also. But Eli, don't say. Well, I guess you're behind. I am, but I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind right now. Joey's all caught up, and I have to say that we are sponsored by Better Call Saul because Patrick Fabian, who is an actor on the show who plays Howard Hamlin, is a fan of the band, and actually right in front of me right now that I would show you if this was a video chat. He sent us some T-shirts, some Hamlin and McGill shirts.
That's
some
awesome.
Some pens and an autographed headshot that says "Welcome to the firm," which is incredible.
That is freaking dope, dude. Wow.
But yeah, great pick. And I tried to. So I did love Breaking Bad when it came out, and during the pandemic, I was like, okay, I need to I'm going to try to rewatch something. And I watched the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad again. And I thought about how many times Walter and Jesse, go through something and then have a falling out and then go, let's cook and get back together. Yep. And I was like, I actually can't do this. And in that moment I was like, Better Call Saul is the superior show.
Yeah. Yep.
I think one of the best shows on television currently is The Boys.
Yes.
My brother started watching that, and I need to borrow his Prime account so I can. I've heard great things. It's definitely it's probably way Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or factor. And but yeah, I need to get on that.
It's very good. And I also really enjoyed Severance this year. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not.
Oh, it was so good.
Mm-hmm. It's an Apple TV Plus show with Adam Scott, and it's kind of like I'm also a big Westworld fan. I think I actually liked it more than Westworld now, but it's kind of in that vein. It's really hard to describe, honestly. It's just like one of those
Black Mirror.
Yeah. That actually, you know what? If Black Mirror was like, one story was a whole arc or something, that's not a bad comparison. But
cool.
Thank you, Eli. Great question. Hopefully we'll see you in Atlanta. All right.
It was a pleasure. Y'all have a good one. I'll be staying here, tuning in.
Nice.
Take care. Well, that was great. That was super easy. Thanks to Eli. Joey, are you monitoring the chat right now?
I am
as well.
Do you guys see any questions that you feel strongly about, that we should shine our light on?
Looking right now. There's a lot for Paul.
I mean, start him.
I don't read a lot of DC comics. I'm more of a Marvel and Image guy, but I do enjoy what's going on with Batman currently.
What's the thing that got canceled yesterday, Paul? Batgirl?
Yeah.
What do you know about it?
They filmed an entire movie for HBO Max, Batgirl. Everyone got paid. It was done filming, and then WB just shelved it yesterday. They're not going to release it, which is just strange. It's one of the biggest. It might be even more than 90 million spent. One article I saw, it was like over 100 million was spent on it. It's one of the biggest losses in Hollywood history when it comes to completing something and then deciding not to release it.
Wow.
It's kind of a shame. There was going to be Michael Keaton as Batman in it and stuff.
Which would have been, that's reprising the role, right?
Right. And he's supposed to be in the Flash movie as well.
As Batman?
Yeah, as an older Batman. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I feel like that would have sold tickets if the movie cost $90 million or whatever.
Well, it was supposed to go straight to HBO Max.
Oh, I see.
And the only reason I can find as to why they shelved it was a quote from a studio exec saying it was irredeemable.
Wow.
Whatever that is supposed to mean.
Joey, you seen anything you like in the chat?
Yeah, tons of stuff.
No, I hate all of them.
No. Someone asked if we were going to play Ridge again, and I would say I would love to say yes, because I still love that song.
Love Ridge.
Maybe that was always that's when we. Do you think that's when we bust out for Europe? Maybe because we were talking this morning. We had practice this morning. We were saying, maybe we'll switch up the set list a little bit for Europe because we haven't been there since like just after the first record came out. So we've never played any of the. Well, no, that's not true. We had like that London headline show, I guess, in late 2019. But like we've never played like most of the Content songs. We've never we were saying this morning maybe we bust out Content itself because these would be like smaller club shows. Ridge is not a bad call.
I love that.
All right, I'm gonna bring in a speaker. Okay.
All right.
Hold on, before you do that.
Sure.
You do that, we have finally gotten. This is big news, everybody. We have finally gotten a request to come to Italy. And I have been waiting for this since we played the first note together as a band. And we finally got it. And you know what, Nicole? I hope it's soon. I really do.
I don't know why. It seems like, listen, I don't really know how touring in Europe or the UK works because, we've done a little bit of opening there, but as I'm sure a lot of you guys saw, our first headline tour there is scheduled for November. But it seems like you kind of stick to like the very like Western part of the continent. Like, you do the UK, you do Germany, you do France, and then you go home. So it would be cool to do some, I don't know. I always worry about Italy because I'm very lactose intolerant, and friends who have traveled there have said you stand no chance. So I'm going to blame us not going there on my lactose intolerance.
Where was your favorite place to perform? Red Rocks. Red Rocks
okay.
was sick.
Where was your favorite place to see us perform Robbie Corwick? Robbie, are you there?
Oh, he's there.
Robbie has joined us live. I see him on the thing. He has to hit the unmute button. It's right there.
I think Robbie might have the Guinness World Record for Joywave shows.
He's up there. He's got quite a few.
I feel like Robbie's multitasking right now. He's like making an omelet.
I was driving. I just pulled over so I could be safe.
Pull over as fast as you can.
I did. So I think I'm at 37 Joywave shows now.
Wow.
I've seen.
Can anyone out there beat 37?
45 times I've seen you play Destruction. So.
Oh man.
I don't know. That math doesn't add up. Don't.
The math doesn't add up, but that's what's great about it.
It does. Yeah, that sounds right. Do you have a question for us today, Robbie?
So with Live out now and the world can hear it, what was the process behind the actual stage show? Like coming up with the idea, putting it together, watching it come to fruition from like possibly sketches, things of that nature.
Yeah, so we worked with a set designer named Anne Slote, who, we kind of said we want to make the stage a car wash. And I think we had talked about loosely, we were like, me, Joey, and Paul were like, oh, we'll just let's take a projector and then we'll put the stage is moving through the car wash as the background. And she was like, okay, you can kind of do that, but it would be better if you had the car on stage, and then we can take out the lights, the tail lights, and make those part of the show. We can actually have the tunnel represented. And she made it 100 times better. But we knew that that's what we wanted to do, since that was the art, and we knew what we wanted to do with the art since very early in the process, when we were it's called Cleanse. And I think I've said this elsewhere, but one of my first jobs was working at a car wash And that was kind of the era that me, Joey, and Paul became friends in. And I had this like late 80s sedan that we would ride around in when I was 16. And, you know, they're like the song We Are All We Need on the record is kind of a celebration of our friendship and those times together. So it all works together to kind of tell the same story.
Was that a Rainbow Road homage on the screen during the back of the stage?
You know, there's one portion that absolutely looks like Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 64.
We definitely referenced that the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
Because that's what me and everyone that I was around during any other shows is like, it's Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. That's awesome. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you guys remember, was it half your age that had the rainbow?
Yes.
I think so. Remember. It was a whirlwind, but
awesome. Right. Well, thanks, Robbie. Drive safe.
Thanks.
All right, later.
At least he pulled over.
At least he pulled over. Okay. We're gonna bring in another speaker now.
Okie dokie.
Please welcome Yang to the chat. Hello, Yang. Are you there?
Hello, Yang.
Hello, I'm here.
How are you? Where are you?
Good. I am in Gainesville, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we play there one time?
Yes. It was like for like Rock the Vote.
Was it with Young the Giant? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Was that at the school?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
sense.
There
goes Dan with his perfect memory.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a rental car that day and they were like, we're out of minivans. Do you want a Corvette instead? And I was like, sure.
So you got a Corvette?
Yeah, it wasn't a Corvette though. It was a Mustang without a roof. So me and Beard drove to the school with the Mustang.
I remember that.
And I got sunburn on one half of my face. Yeah, I got sunburn on one half of my face, and like half of my face was pink for the show.
That's amazing. Yeah, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so my question is, what can we expect? It's super basic, but what can we expect for this upcoming tour with IDK How? Like, is it going to be a similar set? How is the stage going to look like? Stuff like that.
Sure. So it's a co-headline tour. So I think we're going to play for an hour and they're going to play for an hour, which will be a little bit shorter than the Cleanse tour was. But I think production wise, it's going to be kind of like an embellishment of like, it'll still be the car wash theme, but the rooms are a little bit bigger. So I think the show will be a little bit bigger as well. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Joey, Paul, what do you guys got?
No, I think that sums it up perfectly.
I'm typing.
Paul's busy.
Someone asked how we got started as musicians, so
You're just typing out that story?
Yeah.
Paul, you can invite that person to the stage instead of you type it. You don't need to answer. The whole point is you're supposed to talk about it.
Some of us like texting people. Ben.
Yeah, I am engaging both audiences.
Yeah, Ben, you're lucky there's even voices happening right now. This should just be like a text-based chat. What like a thing too to like, I give you guys a lot of credit, anyone who's raised their hand to participate and chat in this, because like I don't think I would do that. That's like that's a little bit scary. Like, Yang, are you scared right now?
Kind of. I was like a little nervous. I was like, I'll click the raise hand as a joke, and then I didn't expect to be.
As a joke? You're talking to us as a joke right now?
No. I was like,
Gainesville has been wiped off the tour list forever.
No. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I actually got picked? And then here I am.
And here you
how
are.
How many people can we accept into the chat at once?
Oh, that's actually a good...
More. I don't know how many, but it can definitely be more than one at a time.
Let's max this puppy out, huh?
Okay, here we go.
It might get a little crowded, but sure.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay.
I feel like this is gonna get chaotic.
No, it's gonna get great.
It's never chaotic.
Cool, we're here.
Quinn, is that you?
Yeah, it is. What's up?
Oh, what's up?
Hi, Quinn. Here's Okay. Everyone's on now. Well, not everyone. I added a few people. Okay. Josh, can you hear me? Do you have a question?
This is so cool. I do have a question. Well, first of all, I just want to tell you guys, the first time I discovered you was like, I was watching YouTube and ads pop up and you have 5 seconds to skip the ad usually, right?
Yeah.
And instead of an ad, it was the music video for Obsession. And I remember grabbing my remote, it was on my TV, and my finger was pressing down on the button to skip. But within 5 seconds, I was like completely hooked by the video and the song. And I love like film. And so the video is like all about like film stocks and fonts and
yeah.
And I was just like I was just like completely hooked to the TV. And then that's pretty much when I discovered you guys, and it's been like just downloaded everything and just been awesome. And so but my question is specifically about the song Traveling at the Speed of Light. I feel like for me is like one of my favorite songs ever. And I feel like what was the initial idea of that? And like, I don't know. It's just like that song, it has so many layers to it, I think. So
one of the first songs we ever created is Joywave.
Yeah, I think the initial demo is from 2010 and we put it out on the internet and no one cared. And then we re-included it on our mixtape 77777 in 2011, which I know there's a couple questions on here that I've seen of people asking when those songs will be on Spotify. And the answer is never, because a lot of them have samples in them. Yeah. And then when, How Do You Feel Now was coming out, it was a song that had been in the live show and always felt great and people always really enjoyed. So we were like, we should try to do a version of that kind of reflects, because the original from 2010, like the one that's on 77777 is like straight into a computer. Like we didn't, I think we owned one microphone and a laptop. Actually, I don't think we even owned a laptop at that point. I think we had like a PC that like a friend had built or something. So we wanted to kind of like capture the song after it had gone through years of being played live. But the song itself, like there's this like kind of like time travel aspect to it. And like, I remember being really enthralled by the idea of like time slowing down for like as you got closer to a black hole. So like if one was able to circle a black hole without being sucked into it when they returned to wherever they came from, years have passed. And I remember just kind of feeling like that because me, Joey, and Paul had been in bands together and like, just like local bands really, but people would come see us and then they would finish college and get a job and start their life and start a family. And someone else would show up and take their place in the audience and be like, okay, well, I'm here now. And it would just go through and go through and go through. And we were kind of in this like Neverland scenario of like, well, years go by, but like the consistent thing is Dan, Joey, and Paul standing on stage playing music. And over time it became playing that specific song, which was kind of like the fulfillment of the idea of the song.
Wow, that's so sick. And I had tickets for Obsession tour. Obviously, that happened, sort of.
Yeah. Still getting rescheduled, huh? Maybe they'll announce that tour soon.
Well, first, I'd like to see if you guys had ever released the set list for that, because I was super amped for that. And then I was at in LA show for last tour, and then I will be at the next LA show for this next combo tour as well.
Oh, nice. Awesome. That one's at the Wiltern, September 11th, which that'll be the biggest LA show that we've ever done. And it's supposed to be a great venue. I've actually somehow never been there. We never opened for anyone there, but it's supposed to be great. So we'll see you there.
All right. Super stoked.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Quinn, did you have a question?
Yeah. It's actually going back to Ridge earlier. So, you know, like, I know you guys say that you don't reuse guitar pedals between albums, but like, what about synths? Like the ones in Ridge or All I Want?
So Ridge and All I Want, I don't think there's a single real instrument on either one of those because, again, we had no money. We had a computer. So yeah, I think the synths in Ridge are all just like soft synths, and the ones in All I Want are too. They're probably all, for anyone who's a music producer out there, they're probably all just like the Arturia V collection. That was like my go-to at the time. It was what we had and what we had access to. But yeah, now, I mean, there's times where we'll reuse things. It's not like we like throw things away or say we can't do that. But I'm kind of a believer in like the when all things are possible, like nothing is actually possible. Like you get really overwhelmed by infinite selection. So I will try to get like, okay, well, you know, this keyboard was very important on the last record, so let's get a different one, and that'll be our like go-to for or like a starting point for the next one. But there's been times where, you know, we would try to do that and something just wouldn't be right, and we would go to something else.
Okay, sweet.
But yeah. Okay. Thank you, Quinn. I'm gonna kick you off now, okay?
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Natalie,
Hello.
how are you?
Hi.
Good. Can you hear me like my heart beating out of my chest right now from my earbuds?
No, I can't, but are you nervous?
Yes, of course. This is an awesome opportunity. So
Why do we get nervous about the, like, no one is there? You know what I mean? Like there's 129 people listening according to the thing I'm looking at right now. But like they're not there. No one can see you, you know? But I mean, I feel what you're saying. Like for sure it's a strange phenomenon, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. And just like always chatting on like Instagram and stuff and seeing your concerts and then being here and talking. It's like starstruck, but
well, do you have a question?
Yeah. My question for you guys is, when you guys go home and you're not touring, and now that you guys are such big stars, what do you do when you come home besides just seeing like family and stuff?
Video games, Legos.
Yeah, I think that like, okay, I used to be really resentful of the fact that like it took us as long as it did for anyone to care about our band, because like things didn't go right for us till I was like 29. So there's like this whole like decade of like music that like people have gone back to and kind of discovered, like things like Ridge or Coda Vista or some of the mixtapes. But you know, at the time, like those were not appreciated at all. And you know, it's nice that people have pulled those back out. But the thing that I think in some ways we've had the opposite problem of a lot of people, of like, you know, things can go to people's heads, I think, if you are successful at a young age. Like I know there's very nice people who are successful at age 16 or 18 or 20, but a lot of people, I think, if they experience that success that young, they go, of course I'm successful, like I'm important and like I'm really great and all this stuff. And it's like, you know, I think for us, like, I mean, I say things like that largely joking on stage or in tweets, but you know, I think we have the opposite problem of like, I'm very comfortable talking to anybody about almost anything, but except for like high praise of like, you know, like this song is one of the best songs ever, period. And then like waiting for me to react. And it's like, okay, nice to meet you. Like that's the part that's hard for me. So when we come home, it's just like a return to normal of, like Paul said, he's a big video game guy. We just spend time with our friends and family, and it's just really regular. we're from Rochester, New York. We still live here. People here are very nice to us. You know, we'll run into people at the grocery store, and generally it's like, I think I said this in another talk thing we did this week, but I feel like largely the people in Rochester are very nice and like protective of us. Like not that it's not an inconvenience really to like stop and take a picture with somebody, but generally when people see us, they don't even ask that. Like they'll just walk by and be like, hey, cool music, or like you know, shake your hand and then continue on. Like it's a very like quick interaction where they're like, nobody wants to interrupt you, which I think is really cool. And just like, it's like I don't know, it's like a respectful admiration kind of thing, which I like. Joey, how about you?
I mean, we're pretty low-key guys when we come home. I mean, we're pretty low-key guys on tour too. We kind of just enjoy each other's company on the road, and then, you know, at home too. We spend time with family, but like I miss the guys when I'm not with them, and we go to lunch a lot. We
do. We're big lunch guys.
Yeah, we love getting lunch. Yeah, I mean, nothing really different than being on the road aside from probably just hanging with family, really. I'm a big baseball guy. Dan's a big hockey guy. So like,
yeah,
you know, sometimes if there's off days, we'll try to go to games or, you know, go to events like respective of our favorite sports. But, you know, we do that on the road as well. So
looks like Haley Roberts wants to speak. She has to go to work soon.
All right. Bye, Natalie. Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks for everything.
Bye.
Haley, go ahead. Haley has to go to work soon.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good.
So I tried to ask this on the Reddit AMA the other day, and for some reason I couldn't figure out how to get into that room. So here's my question again. So I was just wondering, like, how you guys choose the songs and like the set list for each tour. I know you primarily do like, you know, the album that you are working on. But like, I was just so surprised to hear, like, I was at the Tampa one recently. I was so surprised to hear like True Grit and Traveling at the Speed of Light. And I feel like, I don't know, like it just was a pleasant surprise. So I loved hearing like, you know, songs from those older albums. So I was just wondering like how you guys choose those.
It's really getting quite difficult these days because we have so many albums now.
Yeah.
You know, like we have to make cuts, obviously. It's a shame. But
yeah,
we tried to do like a little bit from every album on the cleanse tour.
Yeah.
I think the longer a set is too, the more we can get into like deep cuts too. And, you know, like Paul said, there's so much music at this point, and like a lot of it has like connected with people. So it is really hard. So like this coming tour, the set's only going to be 60 minutes. And we're like, you know, people are going to be mad at us. Like, but it's just kind of this thing of like, you know, it's unfortunate. Like, I know there's people who have, like come to appreciate our record Content, and the only song in the set list from that is It's a Trip. And it's like, it sucks, but like the answer is like, you know, we did play a lot of those songs live, but like people weren't here to hear it yet. So it's like, it breaks your heart. But yeah, I mean, even this next one, like we're going to have to cut some of the songs from Cleanse, like Goodbye Tommy is one that I really love. That I know won't be in the set this next time around, but we were able to play it on the Cleanse tour, and it's on Live, the new live album too. But yeah, it's just it's kind of a time and distance equation, and I will say too, like one of the great things about streaming and about Spotify is that you can see what people are listening to. So like a song like Fear is one that like I really love playing live, and I don't know that I would have known that like people are listening to it, and they are like, and I can see that in the back end. Like it's like a top 10 favorite Joywave song of people who are listening now. So it's nice to have access to that, and we definitely it's a little bit of like confirmation bias kind of things where we're like, well, we like playing that song too, and there's songs like True Grit where it's not that, like it's a really old song that only people who know about it, but they really love it, and we still really love it. So that's why we brought that one in. But
yeah, that I remember that song started playing and I was so excited and I was vibing to it, and I look around and like the audience was dead, and I was like, guys, this is like one of their best songs, and like they just didn't appreciate it. And I was like, whatever, I'll just do,
Well, I think they didn't know it, right? Like there's always some people who are there because they know Destruction, Tongues, Dangerous, and then they're like, and then I'll see what the rest is like when I get there. And I think that they usually have like a positive experience. Like so many of the people who come see us have seen us like a whole bunch of times. And again, that's one of the reasons that we wanted to do the live record, is because like seeing the band live is such a big part of understanding where the songs come from. For us, like we're not just like standing on stage with a laptop, like whatever. I guess that's acceptable, but a lot of live music is that now, and that's not what our show is. So we'll let you get to work, but thanks for the question.
Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in September.
Have a great shift.
See you there.
Have a great shift. Yeah. Odin is on 4% if we want to get him on.
Oh, yeah. Odin, go ahead. Thanks for being patient, Odin. Sorry. I know your face has been there looking at me for a minute. You just got to unmute.
Odin, are you there?
Odin's on 3%. Odin's on 2%. Odin's on 1%. If Odin's battery dies because we kept him on hold too long, I'm going to feel really bad. All right, Logan, what do you got?
I'm here. Sorry.
Odin's here. Go, Odin, go ahead. Logan, you're up next.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to speak to you all.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other young people in this chat, I would say. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's many, but oh man, I'm rambling on. I have like 3%. But
do you have a question?
My question, I do. Just like if I remember his name, Josh. If you could tell me about No Shoulder, please, for like more in depth about it.
Sure. Yeah. No Shoulder. Let me think for a second. Let me put myself back in the room there. Yeah, No Shoulder. I mean, it's just kind of like, it's probably the most existential Joywave song. I don't think that Paul and I have ever talked about this, but Paul had this ride one time in an Uber where he was like, I'm pretty sure God was my Uber driver, where he had been in a not great situation and called an Uber, and this guy drove him like an hour back to the bus and was just basically like, don't worry about it, man. And I was like,
it was like a therapy session. It was the greatest ride I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. And I kind of thought like, it'd be nice to take a ride like that where I could just like get everything out and everything that I'm worried about. And I think about all the things that are wrong all the time. And like, there's like a thing about like the news clip looping and standing in line at the airport and seeing just like bad thing after bad thing like blasted at you and trying to make sense of it all, and like just kind of trying to be okay with the fact that like there is no making sense of it all. And the line, if you ask yourself why too many times, you're going to disappear. And then if you ask yourself why 3 times, you'll disappear. Like it's that like amazing thing that kids do of like, Dad, why is this way? And then the parent answers, and then they say, well, why? And then you answer a second time. And I've always figured you can actually only go about 3 layers deep on anything before you don't know the reason. And that's really unsettling. It's like, you know, toddler logic can undo your perception of the world. I think that's good to remember when you're trying to make sense of everything, that you really can't. So, and a lot of the record is about being okay with, you know, not having control. And just like the fallacy of trying to have control, because you're not going to be able to, and people need to be okay with that. But yeah, I hope that helps, Odin. Cool. I'm gonna let Odin's battery not die. Thank you for your question, Odin. And we're gonna go to Logan. Go ahead, Logan.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so first off, this is really weird. I was not expecting to get this invite to this, because background, I found you guys solely through Spotify. My Discover Weekly pulled up Traveling at the Speed of Light, and I listened to that and loved it. And then randomly, my roommate, who I was living with at the time, was like, "Oh, dude, you know these people? Like, here's who they are." And so that was just kind of a really cool thing, because usually I just kind of like one song from an artist and just kind of like hold that song as like what it is. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that was really interesting. Something
awesome.
that my question was, because I'm kind of still new to who you guys are as a band. Really love the live album, or the live. I don't know, either one.
The live album.
Yeah, no, the live, comma, the live album. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So like, how did you guys initially like figure out like kind of what your sound was? Because right now I'm traveling to Ohio with my whole life basically in a car. It's kind of fun. But something that I noticed is, so I listened to like some of your older stuff, because it was like, okay, let me like actually see where these guys came from a little bit. And I listened to the 8 mixtape on Spotify, and it sounds like completely different from, not completely different, like there's some elements that are still there, but it just sounds like vastly different from where you guys are now. I was just kind of curious to hear about like how you guys kind of like shape who you were as a band.
Sure. So, yeah, so I'm trying to think of the fastest way to catch you up, because this is like, you know, I think we're in year, we're in year 12 of Joywave. So me, Joey, and Paul were in local bands growing up, and it was more of like this, like 2 guitar, bass, drums, like Jimmy Eat World sort of thing, where it was like very inside the box, and we were like, you know, like we had a good time doing it, but I think over time we realized that like we were putting restrictions on ourselves, and we were like trying really hard to like, oh, well, if we could only like get signed or go on tour, and we were making decisions, not always, but like sometimes we were making decisions based on what we thought people would like, or what we thought would like yield a positive result. And like we did this for like probably close to 6 years, and it didn't work. So around 2010, we were like, we kind of gave up, and I just started like writing songs in my parents' basement. And the genesis of Joywave was like, it was freeing ourselves from like the notion that like, okay, well, it's, you know, it's only guitar music, and all the songs work like this. We were like, okay, we're going to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it, because we have already failed. So we will continue to fail, but like, at least this way we have won the moral victory of like always being happy with what we're making. Like, we're never making a decision based on like, oh, this type of song could get us to the next level. So during that time, one of the things that we did were these mixtapes. So the one that you found, 88888, yeah. And there's another one called 77777 that's not on Spotify, but you can find it on YouTube. And there's always zip links or download links that people share. I'm sure someone could share it with you. But those mixtapes are these like really quick exercises of like, here's 3 weeks of the band, and we're like putting things together. And the mixtapes are kind of telling these like fictional stories. Like the Sevens one is like this like space odyssey, and the Eights one is this spy story kind of. So those exist like on a different line, I think, than the rest of the catalog. Like I think if you look at like Coda Vista all the way through to Cleanse, and you remove the mixtapes, it probably makes a little more sense. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have anything going on, and we're just like, okay, well, you know, since nobody's listening, here's something we'd like to do, and we did that. And like you said, occasionally people go back and find that, which is cool.
I mean, yeah, I definitely, with the Eights 5 times, I'm not gonna say 8 5 times, but that album was definitely like, because it has like a one thing that's like called like the main theme or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a concept kind of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was very interesting. Also, thank you for the brief update on that, because I had no idea. Also, Paul, everything that you've talked about with Legos, comics, and video games, I want to talk to you more about those at a later date, because I love talking about all those things. And so, yeah, if you want, that's totally up there. But anyways, thank you guys so much for answering the question and having me here. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah. If you ever want to talk video games or comics or whatever, you can DM me on Instagram.
Or play Fortnite with Paul. He put his Fortnite tag or his gamer tag in the chat thing. But
I love this so much. Okay. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Logan. All right. Have a good drive.
Big shout out from Dan McCall from Kansas City.
Very cool.
Big shout out.
Dan runs a great restaurant in KC called District Poorhouse that we all enjoy.
Yeah, if you're in the area, it's really good.
Jessica, go ahead. You have the floor. Finally. As soon as you unmute, all you got to do is unmute. You just have to unmute, Jessica. And then the question is yours to ask. Paul, Joey, do you guys see anything that you're feeling in the comments here while we're waiting for Jessica?
Looking. Paul did a good job actually answering some of them. So, update: Odin is at 1%.
Odin's at 1%. All right, I'm gonna add in a couple more people here. We got that was kind of confusing, huh? Madison, do you have a question? Madison, do you have?
Hi.
Hey.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay. Sorry. It's like really loud where no, my question was, I asked this in the chat a little bit, but are there any? One second. Are there any songs that you guys really like get emotional about, if people like they were written in a really emotional time in your life and like they're hard to play because they bring up a lot of memories?
That's a good question. Can you hit mute? Sorry, it's loud in the background for it. Thank you. I would say maybe when songs are like new, like when we're going out and we're doing something like Goodbye Tommy, like something from the record that we've just done, or After Coffee, I definitely feel deeply every time we do it. And I've been thinking about, because the cat in the story recently passed a few weeks ago, which was very sad. So, him being memorialized in that song now, like I think about when we sing it. But after a while, like, it's interesting because like obviously we play these songs so many times, like the lyrics become like notes. Like the words are like just the rhythms that match. And I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because like it lets me like focus on performing them versus like reliving them every single time. But yeah, it's like I don't think I think about like what Tongues is about when we play it anymore. Just because like it's been there for so long. But like I definitely did. Like you know, when we first started playing it. So I think that's like an important thing of like continuing to make music, because it is really exciting to play something like Tongues because the audience is reacting, right? Like it's really fun. But then, you know, if we play After Coffee next, then it's bringing up like the feelings and like feeling the emotion again because it's like fresh, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely does. Thank you.
Okay.
Great question.
Very good question. Thank you very much, Madison. I am now removing you as speaker. Jessica, did you figure out your microphone? Oh, Jessica. Paging Jessica Murray. Jessica Murray. I'm about to remove Jessica Murray right now. I'm sorry, Jessica. Removed. Okay, speaker requests. I'm looking. Raise your hand, speakers. I'm going through the list. I'm going to pick someone. I'm going to pick them.
I'm loving all the cat photos for the user picks.
Yeah, those are very nice.
Specifically, Sam, the cat, and with the like Gundam helmet on.
Okay, we are bringing in Xavier. Xavier, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's nice to have you. Do you have a question?
Yeah. So Daniel, you kind of went over this earlier about how one of your first jobs was working at a car wash. I was just kind of wondering, as a collective group, what all kind of odd jobs did you work before the band really took off? And at what point would you say you were comfortable with, you know, no longer needing to work those kind of 9-to-5, you know, jobs?
I worked at a very reputable grocery store in Rochester, New York, pushing carts for a very long time. I don't know if I ever got comfortable with like jumping ship. I just knew I had to do it at one point. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Joey, do you want to share your story?
Well,
I feel like it's a good one.
Yeah. So I was working full time at a grocery store that will remain nameless. I still really like to this day and shop at every week for groceries. But I was out of time off, and we ended up getting, it was a show with the Killers, and then another performing on Late Night with Seth Meyers. And I asked to take off, and they were like, well, you have to use your vacation time. And I said, well, I don't have any. And they said, you know, you need to be here for your shift. And if you're not here for your shift, you will no longer have a job, and you will be on the do not rehire list. And it took some time, maybe about 10 minutes thinking about it. And then I decided, yeah, I don't care about that anymore. So I ended up playing both shows. And when I got back the following Monday, they called me into the office, told me that my employment was terminated. And the car ride home was a little scary thinking about it, because I had a son and didn't really know what the future would hold, but you know, something in my heart just told me it was the right thing to do, and just to not look back, and I haven't. And yeah, like I said, I still go shopping there.
Wow.
I think you made the right decision.
Yeah. That's a great story. I think about that sometimes too, because I'm a musician as well, and you know, I'm kind of wondering, like, if I get to that point of where am I going to do this as a career, or am I just playing to play? What that might kind of look like in my future of getting
right. I think Dan is the only one in Joywave that actually like made a conscious decision to quit his job so he could focus on the band. Whereas Joey and I, like, I have a similar story to Joey. I worked in the kitchen of Olive Garden for close to 9 years. And I lost my job in the Detroit airport on our way to go play Jimmy Kimmel live.
Wow.
And my boss was like, hey, I don't want to do this. He's like, my boss is starting to ask questions. I'm not pregnant. I'm not in the military. It's a corporate job. I had no right to just take off whenever I needed to. So it was kind of like it was like an inevitable thing that happened to fall apart on our way to play Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I think so. I after I worked at the car wash, I worked at Staples for 6 years, like part-time. And it was really tough to find, like, I think I only worked like 20 or 25 hours a week, but still I was having a hard time like finding motivation to make music. And it was also like pre-Obamacare, where like I did the math on like you could only get like any type of federal assistance if you made less than $12,000 a year, but your healthcare would cost $11,000 a year if you made over $12,000 a year. Like I spent like 10 seconds doing math, and I was like, I'm actually better off like not working and just betting on myself and like living at home with my parents and just getting way better at what I want to do, because like I'm not good enough at it yet. Which of course at the time I thought I was, but like in hindsight, I absolutely was not. So I mean, I quit. I basically quit working like before Joywave started, but what I did do was find ways to make a little bit of money here and there with music. Like I would DJ like one night a week to like pay my phone bill. But I mean, I found for me, like basically the enemy of your music career was debt. So like you just had to, so like things that people did, like going on dates or like having a car or having an apartment, like I had to be okay with not having any of that. And I did have the advantage of like my parents were very kind and were like, you can stay in your childhood bedroom and there's food in the fridge if you want a sandwich. So like
tuna sandwich,
a tuna sandwich. And I realized that some people, don't have that situation. And that is an advantage. But yeah, my whole MO was just like, do not acquire any debt. Do not buy anything. You don't need anything. There's a computer downstairs and one microphone. And until that yields some type of result, you just have to like spend your time working.
I remember some pretty soul-crushing experiences, like late night, like 11 p.m., closing down the kitchen at Olive Garden, and like on the radio, I would hear a Joywave song. I'd hear like Tongues play as I'm like mopping the filthy floor of an Olive Garden kitchen.
There's like the lag of like your song might start to do well, but that doesn't mean anything for you like career wise for a long time, because it takes a while to go from that to like people showing up to the concert, right? Or like the tour going really well, or
right.
Like
it's not like back in the 60s when your song hits the radio and you're like rich and famous overnight.
Awesome. Thank you, Xavier.
Yeah, thanks so much. Big fan from Albuquerque. Come back someday.
Hey, love Albuquerque.
Better call Xavier.
What's the place that oh my God, Frontier?
Yeah, Frontier.
So good.
Oh yeah, great.
I just wanted to say it was really good. I also found out that you can order those online, like the tortillas, which I didn't realize. Someone from Albuquerque told me this the other day. You have to buy them in bulk, but like I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and then also Golden Pride is basically like a drive-through Frontier. It's basically the same thing. It's like slightly different menu, but you can get the cinnamon rolls, the tortillas, and burritos from Golden Pride as well.
Wow, love that. We'll check that out next time.
Last time we had a day off in Albuquerque, Kevin and I rented a car and drove to all the Breaking Bad filming locations. Like we spent the entire day doing it. It was great.
Oh,
I love Albuquerque.
Yeah, great place.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Speaker requests. Speaker requests. Speaker requests. Make your speaker requests. I'm looking.
Dove, that's awesome. Glad you enjoyed the live album.
Roe Sunderland, what you got? Roe has to unmute. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm moving.
Oh wow. Where do you live, or where are you moving to, or both?
I live in Urbana and I'm moving in Urbana, so it's not a huge move, but it's out of a shitty situation, so I'm very happy to be getting
Well,
this
congratulations. Is that in Illinois?
Yeah. You guys came down here, I don't know, a while ago for some little university show. That was
wow.
A long time ago.
Wow.
That was so fun because it was this huge not venue, but it was like a big lecture hall, and you guys were like, there's like 30 of you guys here. Let's just go up on the stage. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of the college shows are pretty interesting. There was a time back in the day where we would at the end of the show, I got into employment history earlier, but I worked at a roller skating rink, and there was like a game that you would play called Four Corners, where like like people would go to
I miss playing Four Corners with audience.
Yeah, we would play Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter, and then we'd stop the music, and so that's how we would end the show, is we would kick the audience out one by one until we had a winner and there was only one person left. We need to bring that back.
Really on brand for you guys.
Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. We used to actually cover that pretty regularly for like a year.
Yeah. So funny. Awesome. Do you have a question for us?
Yeah, so I was just kind of you guys, one of you had like kind of answered maybe one earlier when you were talking about like the Uber ride, but I was just curious if you guys like had any like really just impactful experiences or memories that just like that's always the number one thing that you're carrying through. If that made any sense at all, I feel like I was babbling.
Yeah, like a impactful like memory from tour maybe, or like just in
general
kind of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Seems like every time we go on the road, there's some great memory that happens.
That's cool.
One of my favorite like tour stories ever is when Kevin scared us all at the hotel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is the ultimate Joywave.
Yep.
Like
you know what?
The funniest moment.
I think about this all the time. This is the hotel. This is the hotel that Stephen King wrote The Shining at.
Oh my God.
What's the name of it, Paul?
The
Stanley Hotel.
Stanley, thank you. Couldn't think of it.
Ro, a little off topic, but not really. The pattern on your shirt in your user photo looks like the Shining Hotel carpet.
It is.
Okay,
oh, it directly is.
So this is a perfect story then.
Yeah.
So
Paul,
obviously the hotel, like, boasts itself on being super haunted.
Yeah.
So the green room, we're all just like hanging out, whatever. And I'll summarize it real quick. Basically, I'm at like the table that has all our rider items on it, and I'm just like fiddling around with stuff. And then it's like, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. So I turn and I start walking towards the wide open bathroom door. And then all of a sudden the door just slams shut super fast before I could get to it. And I turn around and I look at everyone in the room, and everybody looks at me, and we all just like, there's like nothing even spoken. Like we all just witnessed like a ghost, right? Like that's what it felt like. I was like, finally, like I witnessed a haunting. I've wanted to see this my whole life. And then doesn't Kevin open the damn door? He was in the bathroom up on the sink. Like he climbed onto the sink, and he like reached around over the top of the door and like used his hand to slam it shut as I was walking towards it. And it was just like, I don't know, if anyone's ever had like a really good scare, it was just an incredibly hilarious moment.
He was hiding in there for upwards of like 15 to 20 minutes waiting to make this break.
Yeah, he like really committed to it.
I like knew that ghosts were real in the moment, and I knew that we all knew, and we'd experienced it together.
Kevin is our
it
live
felt
bass
impossible.
player. For those of you who don't know, Kevin is our bass player when we play live.
It was amazing. Thank you, Ro. Good luck with the move.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, speaker requests. Speaker requests. Speaker requests. Katie's been in here a while. Katie, how are you? Unmute yourself, Katie. Set down that glass of wine and unmute yourself.
It could be water.
Are you sure?
It could be Sprite.
Is it water or is it wine?
Okay.
It's water. It was actually at a bar, but I think it was just water.
Oh, okay.
Less exciting.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. It is not really a good question, to be honest.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling in. We'll talk to you later. No, go ahead.
If you had to be a shape of pasta, what shape of pasta would you
Oh
be?
my God.
That is a horrible question. You weren't kidding.
Katie, you've been in that like speaker request section for like 30 minutes to ask what shape of pasta we want to be. Okay, great. I mean, Paul, you have the floor as the.
I'm gonna go with
Olive
like
Garden vet.
Based on my Olive Garden pasta knowledge, I believe it's fusilli. Is that the corkscrew? I'm gonna go with the fusilli. Also, I like angel hair. Angel hair is real good.
There was a time where I think it was when one of the albums came out, and there were like so many interviews that we had to do, and so like I looked at all of them and I was like, guys, I can't do all of these. I was like, Paul, can you please do some of these? And he was like, yeah, I'll do a couple. So there was this college newspaper one that was on the phone, and I just remember like walking in on it happening, and they had asked him what his favorite Disney movie was. And for 10 minutes, he was like, well, there's Aladdin. And then of course there's The Little Mermaid. And then, I guess you can't forget about, and like literally just listed like every single one to like the college newspaper without ever answering the question. It was terrific. So I guess the corkscrew shaped pasta is,
I mean, it's a pretty loaded question to ask someone their favorite Disney movie.
Well, aren't you supposed to have? I don't know. I don't have favorites. I'm like not a favorites guy. So this question is like, I was gonna say gnocchi because I ate it recently, but like I don't know that I want to be. The question was, what pasta would I like to be shaped like?
It's not want to be. It's more what you are. Like if you had to be one, you know.
Oh. I think spaghetti, because I feel like that's the one that people who don't know anything about Italian food would know, right? Like that's like the most like basic one.
Sure.
Is it? I don't know. Katie, which one do you think I am?
SpaghettiOs.
SpaghettiOs is good. That's a good one. I feel like regular spaghetti is a good one for you. Or like what's the bow tie pasta called? Farfalle or whatever.
Farfalle, yes, correct.
Sure, that one's a good one. That one's like a magician's pasta. I feel good about that.
I feel like it gives the same vibe as your mustache somehow.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks. Everyone say bye to Katie. All right. Back to the requests here. Spaghetti.
I think maybe on this tour we should do instead of like VIP meet and greet type things, we can do like a one-time only win a dinner with Paul Brenner at Olive Garden, and he can really guide it and explain everything on the menu.
the true tour of Italy.
Yeah.
All right, we got Varshana. Am I saying that right?
Yes, it's Varshana.
Varshana, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for having this and picking my question.
Of course. What do you got?
So basically, I'm pretty new to you guys. I just recently discovered you, and I'm like super honored and happy and thrilled to be able to participate in this, and also surprised. But it is the day of my official signing of my divorce papers, so it's like celebratory.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. So I love Carry Me. That's one of your songs I've been listening to a lot, and the percussion and that is so amazing. I just yeah, it's fantastic. But I was wondering what the song Now, also one of my favorites, is about. There are a couple of parts in it where I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they talking about? Feel free to ask me to just Google it in case it's already out there. But in the event that it's not, I was just wondering.
No, this is a great question. Now lyrically, and this is a great. This is probably the right day for this. Paul, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now is about kind of destroying the memory of someone who perhaps broke your heart. So it's a good day for that, I feel. And just kind of moving on beyond it and saying like, this thing is not gonna have power over me anymore or haunt me anymore. So yeah, perfect day for it. And then Carry Me, I think that I'm glad you pointed out the percussion, because I think that was the last song that we recorded for How Do You Feel Now? Is that right, Paul? It was kind of like a late in the game edition. So we had to set back up the drums, set back up all the percussion and everything.
Yeah, I was pissed.
It's interesting that it's the second song on the record right after Somebody New too, because like, I think they were recorded like a year and a half apart, or like maybe almost 2 years apart.
I remember
and in
the
different
demo.
locations.
The demo for "Carry Me" was called "Ketamine," right?
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Because I remember reading a lot about it. Got changed to Carry Me because I remember reading a lot about like ketamine being used to treat like emergency depressive episodes, and at the time people were saying like it may actually be this miracle drug when used in proper amounts. It's kind of exploring that, and then late in the game, I got changed to Carry Me instead of ketamine. I can't believe that people didn't want it to be called ketamine. But thank you for your question. Welcome. We're glad you discovered Joywave, and congrats on the paperwork.
Thank you so much. You guys are geniuses. I love you. All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Back to we're doing a bad job of answering questions in the chat, right? Do we want to take any of those, or we want to? I mean, I feel like the braver people here are raising their hands, right? And we should reward that. I don't know, because I feel like we answer tweets sometimes. People can also tweet us questions. What do we got? We've got Trevar Connolly. Am I saying that right?
It's just Trevor, but spelt weird. So pretty much.
Okay, regular Trevor. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. You got a question?
I do. I'm not sure if you've been asked this before. I've just not heard it. Do you guys typically like to write the lyrics when you write songs first, or do you guys like to write the song or melody before you write the lyrics?
Great question. So when I was a kid, I remember seeing a Creed documentary of like Creed behind the music. And the guy from Creed was like, I always write all the lyrics first, and then the band figures out how to turn it into a song. So I was like, all right, don't do it that way. So we have always done it.
If it works
the
for
other
Creed,
way.
don't do it.
Exactly. To sound like the opposite of Creed, use the opposite
I love
approach.
that. That's
so
awesome.
so we would so we make the music first, and then I'll make a melody, and I try to keep the songs separate as long as I can from the lyrical ideas, because I usually know like the things that I want to say on a record. But I've always felt like the way to get the best result is like you're choosing the songs that like you want to play, right? And then you're saying, okay, well, what works for this one? And then you say, oh, this thing that I have to say about how like ruthless and uncaring American culture is, right? Okay, well, so Buy American goes over here with this thing, because I remember being in situations where it would be like, well, this song should really go on the record because like the message of it is so great, but like it might not be like the best musically. So I always think that leaving those things separate as long as you can, and then when you're putting the record together, deciding what things are shaking hands is like that's been the best approach for us.
That's super cool. You guys put the artist in artists for sure, because I mean it gives you a free range to play with sounds and play with I guess I don't want to say the word, but the vibe of the music, and then really adding in that lyrical genius later. But thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Awesome, thanks, Trevor. Ben, how many more should we do? 1 or 2 more?
Yeah, sure. I think that sounds like a good idea. It's been going for almost 90 minutes.
Okay, all right, that's good. We'll do 2 more. We've got Haley. Haley, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. How are you?
So good. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do. It might not be a very good question.
We'll be the judges of that.
So I was wondering, a lot of times, a lot of the artists that I love, they have great taste in other musicians. So I just wanted to know, like, who are the other artists that you're listening to right now?
Sure. I think we answered this on the Reddit one we did this week. It's a good question though, and I think the answer is podcasts. I always find like people who I think I always say this to this question, but people who do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it are the people who are the most inspiring to me. So like I'm a big fan of Damon Albarn, who did Blur and then did Gorillaz. I just love that he was able to, be in one of the biggest bands in the UK and just say, I actually think I want to do this other thing now. And it was perfectly okay to do that. And it was real to him, and he had success both times. And I think I talked about that kind of thing a little bit earlier, just like not being afraid to, to say like, well, this is what's real to me, so that's what I'm going to do, versus like trying to do something that you think will work or something that you think the audience wants. Because, when we had tried that earlier in our lives before this band, like it didn't work. And then when we just did whatever made sense to us and what felt real to us, that's when people were like, oh, I actually like this. And which kind of surprised us. And yeah, the more down that path we've gone, the better things have gone. So, Paul, Joey, what do you guys got?
It's a good question. I'm still blown away by that band Chew that we saw on tour.
Yeah, they were.
Yes.
That was so fun because it was like we played. Yeah, we played in Dallas, and we were
loading up after the show, and across the street, this band was playing in like an open garage door type thing venue. So you could hear it all perfectly from across the street. And we just watched like the whole set between the bus and the trailer. It was really cool. They're called Chew. Their drummer is absolutely phenomenal. Blew me away.
It's definitely a cool moment too, because it like doesn't happen very often. We were literally all just out there watching it. Like,
yeah,
bus call had happened, and we were like, yeah, we'll be up in a minute.
Cool. Thank you, Haley. All right, last question. Last question is going to Amara Lucero. Amara, are you there?
Whoa.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Mara, you're in the Matrix.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, that was so awesome. Amara, I'm sorry.
I think she was speaking words.
Amara, if you're a person and not from the Matrix, just type in the chat. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was it was ear piercing. All right, one more. That was good though. Like we deserve that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Katie, unmute Katie.
Hi.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I've been better, but I'm okay.
Oh, are you COVIDing right now?
Yes.
I'm sorry. How many days in are you?
I tested positive yesterday, so
okay.
Fighting through.
The thing I know that everyone's experience is different. For me, I couldn't believe how long it went on. Like, I think it lasted like a full 12 days, and I was just like, oh my God, this is never gonna end. And like the recovery from it was not linear at all. Like some days were better than others. So if you feel those things, don't get bummed out. It's just, it's crazy. It's so weird.
Thank you. Yeah, it is crazy, and I've lasted 2.5 years without getting it, so I'm like bummed that I broke my streak.
Yeah, I tried to think about it as like, well, I missed it for so long. Like maybe I'll only have to get it one time, and everyone who was out without a mask will get it 6 times. But who knows? Do you have a question for us?
So my question is actually, I'm not able to go to any of the shows this fall because you guys aren't playing in Boise. So my question is, would you guys ever consider doing like a live stream of the show with IDK How, just like streaming the whole thing live on, I don't know, Instagram or some other platform?
Yeah, like there's no objection to it other than like the technological one, because it's really hard to like make it sound good. I mean, like we could turn on and maybe we will, like, just, I'll hand my phone to somebody and just hit the live stream button, but it's gonna sound like garbage. It's just you're like someone's FaceTiming you from the concert. So yeah, the technological side of it is pretty tough, but that's part of why we did the live record, right? Is to get like really good versions of the songs, and we recorded the whole last tour. And we hope that people would be able to, who weren't able to make it to a show, would be able to experience the tour that way. And maybe there'll be some version of something like that in the future, that will be up for people. But
yeah, and I love having the live album. I was lucky enough to see you guys in Salt Lake, and having that kind of just able to relive the live show just on Spotify is pretty cool. Sorry, my voice sounds so gross right now.
That's all good. We hope that you feel better though. Thanks for the question. And Boise is one of the best cities. So great.
Yeah, if you guys are stopping by on your way to Seattle, let's go get some Boise Frico.
Okay. Yes. All right. Feel better.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. This was really cool. I know some of you guys in the chat, we see on Twitter and on Discord and stuff. And it was really cool getting to talk to some of you who found the band more recently or just know the band from Spotify. Hopefully this is a thing that continues in the future. I think it's pretty cool. Ben, what do you got?
I think these are going to open up to like all artists as like a feature that they open up, because like Spotify Live has been a thing for a little while. I think it started as Spotify Green Room and then they turned it into Live. But I think they're going to start doing more of these, or offering it up for artists to do these kind of like artist chats. So if you notice, like this is exclusive to whoever received the invite, and Spotify determines that based on your level of engagement on Spotify, and it's all data driven. So we don't really have any say in any of that. So it's kind of like if you receive those like exclusive vinyl gifts that Spotify will send the emails to, or the tour pre-sales. So it's cool. It's a cool way for us to hit people that we don't know if they would have, heard from us otherwise. But I think Spotify is going to start doing this more next month for everybody. So once it gets out of beta, I think we'll be able to do more, maybe more regularly, and maybe we can do some like collaborative type things. And it would be cool if we did something like this on the tour, maybe like on a day off or something. So hopefully we can do more. But yeah, it seemed to work well. The app is pretty slick.
Yeah, and this was recorded too. I think there's a way to maybe share it after or something.
I actually don't know if that's going to be possible for this one, since it's still in the alpha beta status is what they told me. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. Appreciate it. And the tour is full US. Well, it's not the Northeast, we're sorry. But it's August 25th to September 25th. And we will be on tour in the UK and Europe November 1st to November 14th. Since we're all on Spotify right now, I assume you've seen the live record, which is called Live. Don't let anyone tell you different. That came out last Friday, and we hope you guys are continuing to enjoy Cleanse. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks all.
Bye, everyone.